speak.
Hey, I'm here to see Chef Chad. Hey,
Hi, Natalie.
Chad. I've got the Honolulu baking Thanksgiving
Oh,
meal.
great. Come on
Can you
in.
help me with the heating instructions? They gave us some instructions right up front. And you know, this year I decided I didn't want to cook. I just want to buy, and I know they're made with good quality. So they have instructions, but I want your help.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Fantastic.
Let's see what we have.
All right.
Okay. Oh, look. We got a trail mix from the Ignite students from KCC.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Ooh, a 9-inch pumpkin pie with a cute leaf on it. Oh, you got some gloves for me?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I'm going to put some on also.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. We want to be food safe here. So they got a lot of part of their meal.
That looks like a lot in the bag.
So
It's so
and
full.
the bag is thermal, and they told me if I use this again for future orders, for future meals, I get 10% off.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 1.5 pounds of roasted fall veggies. I think there's like turnips in there, carrots,
Broccoli.
broccoli, some, purple carrots too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And we got some sausage, an herb dressing or stuffing,
Okay.
some buttered mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Oh, and they got some butter and some thyme on there.
That's great. Gives it the essence of time.
Yeah, we always need more time.
Exactly.
Roasted veggies and turkey gravy and a citrus cranberry sauce. They said that this meal should feed about 4 to 6 people. Oh, they packed it so well that it wouldn't fall or jerk in your car.
Okay.
Got
I'll
it?
Take it out.
Thank you, dear. And they said this is a 12 to 14 pound turkey. There.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, so now, before we get started, there's
Yes.
a bit of some equipment and tools that you would want to reach for
Okay.
when you're setting up your kitchen. I like to always start off with a non-porous cutting board, and under that I like to put a liner so that the cutting board doesn't slide.
Got
Now
it.
this is your basic shelf liner, or you can use a wet paper towel or rag, as long as it keeps the cutting board from sliding.
That's smart.
Okay.
So,
Now,
so for the turkey, I know some people like their turkeys whole on the table. So if it's a whole turkey, how long do I have to reheat
well,
it
you
in the
want
oven?
to first off preheat your oven about 1.5 hours before you actually start working on your meal kit.
Yeah.
So that way, different ovens have different time frames
Yeah.
to heat up to the temperature you set it for. So I would suggest when you're cooking your whole turkey to set and preheat your oven anywhere from 350 to 375, and then you're gonna have this prepared wonderful turkey, which has some vegetables inside of it to give it a lot more aromatic flavors. And you wanna put this whole entire container into your oven, and that's gonna be in the oven for about 40 to 50 minutes.
And that's whole.
That's whole.
Well, I like mine broken down already.
That's,
Because it's easier to cut a turkey when it's cold.
and it's in its own separate parts.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Now, I would suggest when you break it down,
Mhm.
we're gonna show everyone how to break down a whole turkey when it's at its refrigerated temperature. Now, when you do that, you're taking the white part of the whole turkey breast, which is the white meat. So we're gonna be removing 2 parts from the breast area of the white meat, and then we're gonna be breaking apart the leg and thigh.
Oh,
So when we do that, we're gonna put it back in the tray to reheat at the temperature of 400 to 425. And that's gonna be a shorter time because you've taken it off the bone, the carcass, that the heat penetrates through each part much quicker.
I see.
So now the internal temperature for both recommended methods would be to 165. Now, I like using a thermometer.
Mhm.
A thermometer gives me a great view and point of view on where is the temperature at the time I actually probe into the part.
Right.
And it's a safer way to reach safe temperature degrees so that when you're serving it to friends and family, that it's actually going to still also bring out the aroma, but it's going to bring more flavors to the
Awesome. And I
bird
understand,
itself.
so, because usually the breast is more dry, right? So
Correct.
that's why you want to separate it
Yes.
when you reheat it.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's one of the bigger points that I wanted to point out too. The
Perfect.
white meat actually dries out faster than the dark
Yeah.
meat. And then the dark meat takes a little longer to reheat when you're putting it back into the oven.
Okay, so after it's broken down, it's 425.
400 to 425
Uh-huh, for
about
about-
20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then when you're cooking and roasting it or baking it whole, it's going to be at the temperature of 350 to 375 for about 40 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. So I would like Natalie to start off first showing our viewers how to take apart the turkey.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now what that does also, it helps when it comes to the carving of
Yes,
the parts.
it does.
Okay. So again, we have to wear gloves to keep our food safe. Okay. Now I'm going to remove our whole turkey very carefully. Okay, and we're going to still keep this pan here because we don't want to put this back in the same roasting pan. Now I'm going to reach back to grab my deboning knife. Now it's a deboning knife of a smaller size, narrow blade, so that you're able to maneuver it through the different cavity parts of the whole bird. Now when I look at the whole bird, sometimes the wing does come off very easily. So if it does come off very easily, that's something you might want to put already into your
And
tray.
the wings would go together with the thighs and the
Exactly,
drumsticks.
yes,
Okay.
exactly, because it is part of the dark meat.
Okay.
Okay. Now what I like to often do is first remove my leg and thigh because it'll get in the way when you start taking the actual white breast meat off the carcass. So I'm going to sort of put my thumb between the leg and take my knife and just kind of separate it and follow along. And if you kind of slightly pull it apart,
Yeah.
you'll see where it's going to disjoint from the carcass itself.
Yum.
So we're not going to separate this now. We're going to separate it and prepare it for the serving tray after it comes out from the oven. Okay,
Oh,
so we're going to
okay.
put this here also. Now you want to turn the bird around and do the same for the opposite side. Okay, so carefully as you're actually slightly tugging at it, you'll see where the tip of the blade should penetrate between the meat itself. Okay, so I'm going to kind of take this and put this aside here.
It's pretty easy. It's falling
It
apart.
is, absolutely. And that's what makes it easier to decide to take the parts
I like that way
from
better.
the whole bird apart when it's cold.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to put this herbs on top so that it gives it a little bit of flavor. We're going to put this right here. So now this is going to go into the oven as you see it in the pan. We're going to put this aside for now. I'm just going to reach over quickly and just grab another pan for the white meat here. Okay, now I like to turn my bird where the neck, and the neck usually is right in the front here with the loose skin. And then I'll take the tip of my sharp knife and come right down the middle. Now again, I'm using my finger to slightly pull where I make my incision under the breast meat. Okay, so I'm pulling it here, yeah?
Yeah, and you go right by the bone.
And I'm going right on the bone.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go right through the leg where it's jointed. Okay, carefully taking apart. This here is your
Breast.
white breast. Okay,
Oh,
we're going to put it right
And
here.
you leave the wing part.
We leave the wing on because
Okay.
that helps to keep the natural juices in.
Okay.
Now you might have the back end come apart, but I would still kind of keep it intact.
Okay.
Now I'm going to come down on the other side. Okay,
And right to the breastbone.
exactly. But I'm going to turn the bird where, as a right-hander, makes it easier, and just come right on the turkey bone, and do the same for this side here.
Wow.
Okay? And then, again, the actual meat
Wow, it's just
separates very easily.
Yeah.
But you're looking at what part do you need to cut through. So I want to cut through the joint by the leg. Okay? Okay, so we got that part separated here. Okay, so this part here is going to go into the same pan.
Those
Okay?
are pretty big pieces.
And this is very large
Yeah.
pieces of the white meat
Yes,
and the
yeah.
dark meat there. Now, what can you do with this part here?
Make joke.
Well, here in most of my hotel properties, I would suggest to make a broth
Joke.
from this. Okay? And what a broth actually is just putting this carcass, which is cooked bones and
Uh-huh.
some meat, into a pot and fill it with water and let it simmer. Okay? Roughly around anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Okay? And then you can use that to make other things
Yeah.
later in the weeks to come. Okay, so I'm just going to put this aside.
Do you need another pan?
Yes, thank you, Natalie. Okay, we're just going to put this right in here. Okay, great.
I know you got the veggies and it'll give more flavor to the broth.
Actually, yes, absolutely. Okay, so now I'm going to put these and save these and put them on the dark meat. I'm spreading this around here. Okay, it's best to actually cover your pans
Yeah.
before putting it in. Well, what does that do? It prevents the actual white and dark parts from drying out. Remember, you're reheating. When you put foil over, which is suggested, that in turn keeps the heat in, so it actually heats up much faster.
Yeah.
So I grabbed some foil, but I'm gonna take my gloves off here.
Should we put like any liquid?
No, it's not
Okay.
suggested because, again, by keeping the two parts separate,
Yeah.
one should not reheat quicker than the other.
Oh.
So they might
okay.
come out at different times.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm just going to grab some foil here. We're just going to put it right in. Now, how tight do you make the seal? Well, you can crimp the foil around the edges until you feel that there's no gap.
Okay.
So this would be the white meat.
Okay.
Okay, now when you put it into your oven, find a designated location so you know what side is what part of the bird.
White
Okay?
or dark?
Or
right?
yes, correct.
Maybe just use your finger.
Or if you had a marker, you could actually mark it on the top. Or maybe poke a hole in one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna actually. Okay, so now that you can open the door and I'll put this right in. Okay, good. So we're gonna, this was the
The
dark
dark
meat
meat.
on the right, and on the left would be the white meat.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just put this aside here.
Okay. So, you know, we have the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, and the vegetables.
Yes.
Can we also put that in the oven with
Absolutely.
the turkey?
This would be the best time to put those in. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
go ahead and bring them to the front here. Okay.
But take off the plastic.
Yes. Okay.
Should I put the cranberry sauce in the refrigerator?
Yes, that's a good idea. So we're just gonna reach over and just put it right in the fridge here.
Perfect.
Okay. So we're gonna do several things at once. The first thing you wanna do is think about what you're working on and how long will it take to reheat. So
Right.
being of this size and amount, what we're gonna do, Natalie and I are going to just open up and remove the plastic covers from all of these ready to serve containers. And we're gonna replace the plastic covers with foil.
Oh, they got onions in here too.
Well, that's a wonderful mix. Okay.
There's that.
Okay.
So do you think we should put anything else, but this is just perfect?
No, this is perfect right
Okay.
here. But the one thing that I might suggest
Uh-huh.
is to remove the fresh herbs because you
Okay.
can save it and use it as a garnish.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna put this. Well, let me move it here. Okay.
Leave the butter.
Leave the butter on there.
Okay. Oh, I can. I have
Okay, good.
gloves too.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna cover this here.
Oh, each one should be covered.
Yes,
Okay.
I would suggest that, so it heats up faster. Okay. And again, strategically, when you do place these into the oven, at what part of the oven do you wanna put them? So you remember, each of these containers have a different ingredient in them, so therefore, they might take a little shorter or longer time
Okay.
reheating.
Yeah, and it's all chilled too, so you want to make sure they come up to
Exactly. Yes.
the temperature.
Okay, so now, what temperature are we reheating this to?
So we're going to put it underneath the turkey.
Correct, yeah, we're gonna put it underneath the turkey.
So because this has been deboned and separated, it's 400 to 425, right?
Correct, correct. So then that will actually lessen, I think you can actually wrap that around.
Yeah, sure. What I like to do too is after we plate these, I like saving the containers for take home.
Oh, good.
Yeah, people can take stuff
Yeah, I'm
home.
gonna just put on a pair of gloves here.
I'm gonna grab this.
Yes, thank
Right there. Yeah. So mashed potatoes,
you. Okay, good.
vegetables, and stuffing.
Good. So now we're gonna reach down and grab the oven door, and then go ahead and put that right in, right on the bottom. Huh? Okay, so now we pass it to
That's
you.
the stuffing.
Okay.
Oh, good, it's perfect, because I can go deep.
Straight in. Good.
Vegetables,
And then we have the mashed potatoes here.
okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so that should be anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes to reheat. Okay, now we're gonna work on the gravy.
So 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes.
But we're probably gonna be taking out the vegetables and the mashed potatoes before the turkey.
Exactly.
So maybe 15 minutes, 15 to 20?
No, I would say about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this here. Okay, now we're gonna put all of this in to our Okay, now being that it is at this thickness, it's important to remember not to turn your temperature up too high on your
Okay.
stove top. Okay, so we're gonna take a wire whisk, and all we're doing is just bringing this right to a boil. Okay, so we can let this simmer for a little while to reach its boiling point. Now we have to get ready for
Plating.
the plating.
Yay.
Okay?
Oh, not eating.
Not
Plating.
eating, plating, yes, exactly.
I'm
Okay, so
ready
I'm gonna
for
grab a
eating.
cutting board
Okay.
so we can get ready to start slicing.
Yeah.
Okay?
We get
Okay.
to have Thanksgiving early.
Exactly, that'd be a good thought to take.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the. Oh, how about the pie?
Okay.
You don't need to really warm it up.
No, so now here's
Room
something
temperature,
important to
yeah.
remember. When you get your pie from the takeaway container,
Yeah.
you might want to refrigerate it until you're
Oh.
ready to use.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I'll kind of go over some technique on preparing your pie shortly after we get everything
Okay.
on platters.
Okay.
Yeah? I'm just going to kind of carefully just open this up slightly
Let's put it in
and just kind of.
there. May I?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Okay, now if your gravy is a little on the thick side, what you could use is maybe some turkey broth, or after simmering the bones,
Uh-huh.
or
Oh,
taking chicken
yes.
broth, yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then slightly thinning it down
To the
the
consistency.
consistency that you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah? Okay.
And you know how people, they love their gravy.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
more the better.
The more the better.
Yeah.
Correct.
So all of this and instructions, actually, we have written instructions, but this is all going to be on a link so that when you're ready to do and warm your and reheat your meal, click on your phone and put it right next onto your counter.
Absolutely.
We'll be right there with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Cheering you on.
So should we?
Oh, I know, no. I don't know.
Uh,
Okay,